as a listener, we're going to try to move quickly through 3 areas of questions. One is, what's HR doing to create value in your company? Second is, how do we in our companies manage the outcomes of talent and culture and leadership? And third, what can we do to get better HR people? If I were listening, and I'm going to come back to you at about 5 to 4, what's one item you're going to take away from these folks? And we're going to make you stand up and report. So listen for one good takeaway. Okay, that's the hope. And if you have a question, we'll have time for you to do some queries of the panel. But we're going to try to talk among each other. So I think I'll start with that question. If you want to introduce briefly your company, and how is HR at your company creating more value? Narsi, where does HR create value for Tata?
I work for Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, and I've been working with them for the last 25 years. And here I need to talk about when I started in TCS, we were only 3,000 people. And today we are at 330,000 people with about 126 nationalities operating in 40 countries with 110,000 women employees. So we have grown a long way. And one of the important things is how do we build capabilities for the organization? When we started TCS in 1969, we were the first in the industry. So when we want certain capabilities, we had to develop them. We cannot go to the market and hire because there is nobody. So competency development and capability building has become a culture of TCS.
So do you separate competence from capability? By the way, we said we're having I'm just going to be selfish here and try to learn, and if you have questions in the audience, but do you separate competence and capability, or do they mean the same thing to you?
When I mention competency, it is about the competency of an individual. Okay. When I say capability, it is the capability of the organization.
Say that again, because I think it's a profound difference. Because competence is individual.
Yeah. And capability is at the organization.
It's kind of the culture. And you're trying to build both?
Yes. Because finally our business growth happens because of our capabilities.
Not just the individuals.
Not the individuals.
You can hire people
yes.
who are competent, but you then got to create a collective capability.
Perfect. And the other thing is, so the whole problem was how do you build competencies in individuals? But as we started growing, we can't just do internal competency development. We need to hire talent from outside also. But then the issue is how do you integrate them into TCS culture?
Okay.
So we have to strike a balance to ensure that we are hiring a lot more at the entry level and grooming them and continuously building the competencies of every individual, make them realize their potential, but at the same time adding competencies at various levels by hiring from the market. This balance is very, very important, and it had a significant role in our organization's development, because 10 years back only we were a listed company. Till then we were only focused on top line. With the listing, profit also becomes very, very important. So how do you balance the two? And being a people-intensive organization, managing and balancing the employee pyramid is the key thing.
So again, and we're going to go to Lori, and how have you created value? To go from 3,000 to 330,000, you brought in not only competencies to 300,000 people, but you've also built capabilities or cultures that make the company successful. So where have you created value at DHL?
Lori Colasanti. I work at DHL Express. DHL has about 500,000 employees worldwide, and the Express division has about 100,000. So very large organization. Where does HR create value? HR, to me, in DHL Express is the shepherd of the culture, which is extremely strong. First of all, does everybody know what DHL is? Because it's an international delivery service. So it's the speed of yellow, the yellow planes and the trucks with the red logo. Very, very proud to work there. The average, and I have some people here that I work with, and so don't make a face if I get this wrong, but I think like the average seniority is like 25 years. I have somebody on my team with 8 years of seniority, and she says, how long have you worked here? I've only been here 8 years. Which is amazing.
How do you define culture as a source of value? I mean, because a lot of people define culture as how we think and feel inside, but how do you get value out of that?
And I'll tell you, I've worked in other industries and other companies. This is the strongest culture. It's palpable. It is in everything that we do. It is the customer. It is the focus on the customer. So when I have an HR department and I've got a business partner out there that we're supporting, we don't call them customers. They're internal stakeholders because we have only one customer. And our training programs are not on necessarily technical competencies and skill sets. It's on behavior. It's how you treat people. Can you imagine working in HR and working for a company that focuses on how you treat people? Because we realize that that will flow down to the customer. And so when that delivery person shows up at your door with a package and they have a smile on their face and they're proud to work for DHL, what message does that send? And then we have customers that then want to come work for us because they see how happy everybody is.
Question 2. What's one creative thing we've done in HR as an outcome? Can you just tell us something we've done? And you may have already covered it, but let's work the other way.
We have a leadership development program that we've just received an award for. It's 11 years going. And one of the things that comes out of that leadership development program is there's our business solutions. So they have to come up with a project that's going to solve a business challenge. And one of the business challenges that came up a few years ago was something we call starting blocks. And it's a program that the employees felt was a need, that employees coming in don't know who Dimension Data is. They don't know how to tell our story. And they're the people who are talking with clients and things like that. So how do we get everybody on the same page in a remote, diverse workforce? We have about 27 locations throughout the United States and the Americas, and it's really hard to get everybody on the same page. So quarterly, we bring people together, any new hires or somebody who may have missed the last one because of a client commitment or something. We bring them together, and it's kicked off by the CEO, and every one of the senior leaders in the business has a piece of that program. My piece is culture, as you can imagine, as well as health and fitness. And the feedback has been, along with retention in the last 4 years from people who have been through that program, every time I go, I have worked for numerous organizations. I've never met the CEO. I've never had dinner with the CEO. And I'm talking people from the administrative front desk all the way through to vice presidents. They're all in the same room, all learning at the same time. And it's just, the feedback has been phenomenal. And my executive team, it's one of their favorite things to do, to meet those new employees and welcome them into our culture and talk about who we are as people and what we want and need from them.
I'm going to tell you what I heard, and now I'm going to push each of you for a minute to think. Question 1 is, where do we create value? Capability, competence, client centricity, culture. Question 2, what is it we do to create that value? And we just heard some wonderful things. My take on what you just said, Denise, is you've created a leadership brand, not with the CEO, but deeply through the entire leadership cadre. Narcy, you've created an information platform that allows employees, through transparency and information, to feel connected in all parts of the world. You've created, Lori, an accountability recognition system that you honor from the bottom up those who've done well. Now, I don't know if the folks in the room, what is it you're after? Is it leadership? Is it information? Is it accountability? But what is it we're doing to really measure and deliver that value? I hope you're thinking about that. You got 3 great case studies. Question 3, how has certification, either of the individual HR people, that's HRCI, or of top employers, how does that logic help you do those things?
So I'll start first with HRCI certification, and for me it was actually my ticket to the game of HR. And I say that in all seriousness. I was 25 years with an insurance organization, not in HR, but I did have leadership roles that required, of course, some HR knowledge. And when I found myself not in a job, and I was recruited into HR from a close friend of mine, I needed to get credibility. And the quickest and easiest way to get that credibility is through certification. similar to what you would get if you were trying to do something educationally, get that degree. So that got me credibility pretty quickly, and that people knew that I was serious about HR. And I am very blessed and fortunate to have a full team. Only 2 individuals who are very new to the work world and the organization are not certified HR professionals in my U.S. team. So we've been pushing that because we want to make sure that we have that credibility. From a top employer, wow, this is our 2nd year to be a global top employer and 2nd year to be certified in, well, 1st year in all 5 of my countries, and last year we missed it in 1 country. And the pride that we have, it's a lot of hard work. Those of you who are top employers know it's a lot of hard work to get that certification. But walking in the door that first day when the balloons are out there and the banners are across there, and to have used that as a truly an acquisition of talent, it really does help us because we are in the IT world, and as my new colleague Narcy will know, it's a war on talent for top IT professionals, and this really helps explain why we are the choice to come, where to come to work and bring your IT specialty.
Any comments or questions to the panel? Anything that jumps out at you, comment, and you can multitask as you finish. Microphones, if you have a hand up, a microphone will appear.
Thank you. What you touched on in the beginning of your story was about how people get trained when it comes to the behavior and how to treat others. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, it
Because
sounds
we
like you
missed it.
actually might know the company a little bit. So we have something called a Certified International Specialist Program, and every single person goes through it. And you're supposed to go through the first training program. They're all a week long. They're all intense. Send these people email embargo, no emails, give them no work to do. They have to go, no matter who you are. So when I got hired, I went there, and it didn't matter who I was. The person sitting next to me in the class was a courier, and it was the most fantastic thing on the planet. What those classes are, there's induction class, and then there's a stream of classes for HR, there's a stream for technical training, but they all have a people component to it. It is continuous, and we're constantly developing new training programs for new concepts that we want to introduce. Like the latest one is coaching. So we've gotten really good at leading people, but how do you coach them? How do you give them feedback? Because we're all about continuous improvement. So it's called Certified International Specialists, and all of us are specialists, international specialists. And when I think of CIS, I just think of DHL. We are Certified International Specialists. It is what we do. It's what we live, eat, and breathe. We do self-assessments on if we are living CIS. So we walk around and we talk to people, and if those terms come out of their mouth, if we ask them, is there an issue and how are you going to address it, and they use the things that they've learned, they're living it. They don't even remember that it was from training. It is just what we do. So our culture, when I said it's palpable, that's what makes it palpable.
I have a
it's
feeling
amazing.
everybody thinks that Lori is committed to her culture.
I know we started out with the correlation of the certifications on the bottom line. Can any of you share with us how the certifications for HRCI or top employer has specifically impact your bottom line year on year? For what's your observation?
Well, I'm happy to take an attempt at it, but this is our 2nd year of certification. And I will tell you that I was just looking at some of my numbers just the other day. My CEO asked me some questions, and I can tell you year on year, our turnover, I expected it to be higher for a variety of reasons. It is not. And our ability to attract has definitely increased. I don't have a dollar figure for you because like Lori mentioned earlier, it's a little bit tough out there financially right now, but I can tell you that people are staying more than they are leaving, and I really anticipated it because of some of the financial challenges to be different. So I am going to take credit for that, as you said earlier.
I've asked each of them to give a headline, just one thing they hope you remember from their experience. So, just a headline. Go.
Headline, I hope that from your experience with me today is that you took away at least one idea, and I'm going to add one. The value that I've gotten sitting here with my two new friends from networking. Three, I'm sorry. Sorry. From my three friends has been invaluable. You know, we're all very busy, but taking an afternoon off to meet new people and network and get great ideas, I don't do it that often. And wow, this is a investment and a return on intangibles. Thank you.
My take is any of the best practices you want to adopt has to fit into your culture and your business model. That's the most important thing. It's not that one fits for all. As long as you keep that in mind and try to pick up the initiative, you will succeed.
We have a lot of KPIs. We have a lot of technical processes. They're absolutely there. Did you hear me talk about them today? They're very well lined up to our goals and priorities, but despite those, and report out on them and make sure they're improving continuously, but despite those, you really need to PR the heck out of importance of people, and don't ever stop doing that.
And culture.
Because that's culture. Yeah. People are culture, right?
You know, I want to thank the panelists, and Amy, we'll turn it back over to you. Great job. Thank you very much.